him up. Elam is going to try this, and it will be a 60. Let's call it 63-yard attempt. Spotted at the Bronco 47-yard line. Sam's a little hot. Elam's kick. Oh, the line drive. It's got enough distance.
Welcome to Long Distance Kicks. My name is Rhett Johnson. I am once again joined by my dear older brother Ian. And
Good evening,
Ian,
everybody.
Ian, how are you feeling on this day? We got a packed show. We have stuff to talk
We
about.
do, man. We got a lot to go through. Exciting times in Broncos country. Excited to break it all down.
It's always a good time here. We have a game, we have trades, we have two divisions to go through. We have an elevated discussion on our coaching staff, and so we're gonna get right at it. But first, and as always, we start with a little game called Draft Golf.
Let's go.
We
What we
love
got
it.
here?
We love it.
What we
Always,
got?
and yeah, I got it's a little.
Oh yeah, our little.
It's my
our
little.
little-
Yeah,
always
always.
in the weeds.
Always. You're never out of the weeds. And then I just have to figure out how to get rid of it. All right, Ian. This year, today's draft class is from the year 2022, and the par is 1, 2, 3, 4. So get ready.
Whoa. Okay.
I know it's a par.
Like
It's a par 4.
an actual real life par.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, and for the uninitiated, par is set by the first player that I read off the list of names, and I recognize who that guy is. So here we go. With this team's last selection in the 6th round, no 7th round picks for this team. They took a tackle out of LSU.
Okay. 6th round tackle out of LSU. All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Nothing. In the 5th, they took a tight end from Oregon State.
Okay, so this would be the Green Bay Packers taking Luke Musgrave, right?
It would not be. It would
Really?
not be. No. It a much longer
Tight end
name.
from Oregon State. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Egg on my face.
Egg on your face. In the 5th
Okay.
round earlier, they took a defensive end from Stanford.
Defensive end from Stanford. Is that he didn't go that Henry Anderson?
No, it's not Henry
Okay.
Anderson.
Okay. Let's keep going.
And in the 4th round, they took a running back from Florida. And this is where par is.
This is where par is. Running back from Florida.
2022. And someone I know.
Oh gosh. Is that Dameon Pierce?
Yes, it is.
It is Dameon Pierce. So it's the Houston Texans.
It's the Houston Texans. Yes, all right.
Man, who was the tight end from Oregon State?
The tight end from Oregon State was Tegan Quitiriano.
Okay, I don't even actually know who that is.
Quitiriano, yeah. No idea. He has
I made par.
You made par. He has 9 receptions for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns in his career.
Great.
So that's good. This is quite the draft for them. They got Derek Stingley Jr., then Keon Green, Kenyon Green, I can't read.
Yeah.
But then they go John Mechie and Christian Harris and Damian Pierce right in a row. And Mechie just got some capital for him. So fortuitous and possibly even foreshadowing of what we're gonna talk about today.
Them later.
I know we love that, but that was Draft Golf presented by Wendy's. Unfortunately, I
got a Wendy's like right behind my house now. Yeah. Just opened up here in Macon. So
next time you go there, tell them thank you for
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, Wendy's. Ian, name a random player.
Oh, geez. A random NFL player. We're going to go with
NFL.
Paul Posluszny. The neck.
Paul Posluszny. Okay. I'm gonna go with oh no. I can't think of any
Can't think of an NFL player.
Yeah, I was about to say Damian Pierce. Like who just instead we'll go with Alec Pierce on the Colts. Right.
Okay, staying with Pierce. Okay.
Yeah, Pierce.
That's great.
Oh, God.
That's great.
I'm very tired today, so we'll keep up that bit, man. But today our first thing that we need to go through as we continue with a little bit of just the housekeeping portion of the day. We got to do an our guys report. How are our guys doing?
Yeah.
Ian, notably, I mean, a continued theme here is Object Estimate just keeps getting further and further off of this roster, man.
He is not going to be on this team. It's in the tea leaves, you know.
It's Sean Payton. I don't think even speaks to him anymore. I think he's like, we know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that continues to look real bad. At this point, I don't even know if we retain him on the practice squad. Like, I think we just might be like, all right.
I don't know what the plan is there, but I doubt he's on the team. I doubt he's on the 53.
He feels like that friend that you're like kind of intentional about, like you never actually make plans while you're with them currently because you kind of hope that plans are always pushed off. Like he's like, oh yeah, we'll get together sometime. Keep your phone in your pocket. Keep that calendar away.
I guess so. So,
but Jonah Ellis.
Okay, are we going back and forth? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jonah Ellis, Jonah continues to do well. I had a take watching him in this last game against the Cardinals. I have no idea if this is a hot take or if a lot of people feel this way. I think he is the best in our edge room at setting the edge. I think even more so than Benito or Cooper, who are better players. I think he is the best at just like setting the edge, man. He does that so well. So yeah, Jonah Ellis continuing to very brave of me to pick a high third round pick as one of my guys. Actually, two, because Pat Bryant is. We'll get to Pat Bryant in a minute. But now let's jump back to your guys. Let's go. What did Loner do in this game?
Nothing. I don't even know. I don't even think he got a catch in the game.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
He is still in the discussions as he's apparently just like a lock to make the team still, but I would hope so. I need one of my guys to make it to the team.
So earlier today, Sean Payton in his press conference after practice, he talked about Nate Adkins, who has been dealing with injury. And the way Sean talked about Nate Adkins was he's gonna. It made it sound like it's pretty clear he's gonna have a spot on the 53. And it's not the first time. I think yesterday or the day before too, he said something about Adkins being very respected around the league and on the team, even though he's not necessarily, doesn't make a lot of noise. So you think about it, Evan Ingram obviously is going to make the team. You would assume Adam Troutman will as well. He's probably our most complete traditional, Y tight end mold.
If Troutman's not on the team, I don't know who you have block.
Right. And so then it sounds like Nate Adkins as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, Loner makes the roster, feels like probably spells the end for Lucas Kroll. I don't want to speak too soon. I'd like to see Caden Prescorn slip through on the practice squad. But anyways.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm so interested in that, that we're not hearing a lot about Loner just kind of being snuck to the practice squad. Because I don't know what his market is. Maybe he has a market. There's other coaches maybe around, but it's like I feel like the only guy in the league who has like Caleb Lohner is built for Sean Payton to be like, oh,
Yeah,
what I could do with him. So
yeah,
I feel personally, as someone, he is my guy. I think I would rather the Broncos try to sneak him to the practice squad
yeah.
than use a spot on him,
We'll
especially with
see.
how talented the roster is. Pat Bryant, my God.
He looked good, man. He obviously the hands were on display. I need to give him some credit because when I was watching him in April and in March, and kind of trying to form my own opinion on him, it seemed like something I saw. And then when I referred to like smarter people, they said similar things. Like at Illinois, it didn't seem like he was this awesome separator. Feels like
Mhm.
he was a big body with good hands, and so at college you can make that work pretty well, especially in that conference. He's done a good job. I think he's gotten to his landmark well. I think his hands are as advertised. He looks like a complete receiver to
Mhm.
me. So I'm excited about him. I think that obviously we'll get to the Vele stuff later, but I think his development is a big part of that whole thing. And so yeah, looks
Yeah,
promising.
I think I'm excited for Pat Bryant. I'm excited for Troy Franklin. I think I'm most
Yeah,
excited, or more than excited, for like the whole than the sum of its parts, the two of them together, because like you said, Pat Bryant might not be the world's greatest separator, but in any good offense, I was going to say in John Payton's offense, but in any good offense, there's going to be times where you don't have to really be a separator. You just have to be a good like route
yep,
runner and, like you said, get to your landmarks. You need some guys on your squad that can separate. And Troy Franklin is looking like a guy that can do that, that can just go out and separate and get there.
yeah,
Cortland Sutton's your guy that can easily do both, and you hope that he's your number one dog. But then beside your number one, you just need guys that have those different talents. And the way it seems, watching against Arizona, it felt like they had like harmonizing skill sets, right?
yes, yeah.
Where
Both
like
guys with good size, but very different games, and
yes.
yeah, it's going to help us.
I felt like everything that Pat Bryant caught was over the middle of the field and was on some of those
Made
kind of
some He
designed
made some like tough catches too. Yeah,
lots of tough
yeah.
catches, and then Troy Franklin just beating a guy twice down the sideline,
Hmm.
and getting open and doing
Yep.
that. So
He's putting on
that's
a lot of good stuff.
that's
Yep.
exciting. We should have gone faster because I need some time for Drew
Yeah.
Sanders here.
Yeah.
He's still hurt,
He's still
so
hurt. We don't need to spend a lot of time on Palcho. He had another penalty, which is concerning.
Mhm.
I don't think, like, trying to watch him like snap to snap. I don't think he's looked bad, but those penalties are drive killers,
Mhm.
and I know that's frustrating. So hopefully he can kind of get those worked out. But yeah, that's our guys. Brought to you by Regret.
we we love. I loved that idea, and now I kind of hate it. So speaking speaking of Ian, do you have who was for week two? We played the Arizona Cardinals at home. We gave them quite the shellacking, to be honest with you. We didn't see a lot of the starters. We saw notably a couple starters
Mhm.
in the game, and we really stunted on them. So, Ian, of all of the different guys, many great days, who in your head stuck out to you as the number one winner of week two?
Well, those receivers are obvious, and I could just keep it Troy Franklin like last time, and that would be great. But since we've already kind of talked about them, I'll go a different direction. A guy we really haven't talked about much on this podcast, Jarrett Stidham, has had a
Mm,
fantastic camp. In the first preseason game, he came out and lit it up, and then the second preseason game, he came right back. Uh, to the point that we've had people on like the fan, so take that with a grain of salt. Uh, there's like think pieces about like, well, Bo's doing this YouTube channel and Jarrett's just showing up to work, and stuff like that. And let's be very clear: Bo Nix's starting job is not in jeopardy. Okay, Bo Nix is absolutely the starter. But like, it's a really good thing to have your backup quarterback showing out like this. I love the fact that, God forbid, if Bo were to get hurt at some point this year, you feel pretty good about Jarrett Stidham being able to step in for a few games and execute this Sean Payton offense well. I think that's a positive thing. He has looked decisive. He's looked comfortable in this offense. You got to remember, a couple years ago, he was Sean Payton. I think he was Sean Payton's first free agent signing as Broncos head coach. And when we signed him, Rhett, what did Sean Payton say? He said, "We feel like he has starter traits." And Jarrett is starting to show that. This is his third year in this offense, and it makes sense that you've got this backup quarterback who knows the offense, can keep everything on schedule, has the talent to go out and make plays. I think this is great for the Broncos that we have a backup quarterback we can depend on. Aside from all of that, from less of an on-field perspective, he's got a great relationship with Knicks. They're really good friends. Their wives are friends. Okay, there's a lot of trust there between him and Stidham, and then of course Davis Webb in that room. It's only a good thing. And so, man, while obviously Troy Franklin might be a more apt choice, or Pat Bryant, we need to give a little love to Stiddy because he's been lighting it up, and that's great for him, man.
Yeah, I love it. I think there just needs to be a lot of gratitude for the fact that we have Jarrett Stidham in our locker room on our side, because I mean, thinking about it, yes, he's played really well, and I get that there are people calling and saying he's got starter traits or that he might do this and that. And I think that's a little bit overblown. We've seen guys like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and Geno Smith get second chances elsewhere and show up and be able to fight for a starting job and become starting quarterbacks in the league. But like that's not typical. And those are guys that were being drafted high at the top of the draft, getting a second shot at a career. Jared Stidham was a second round pick, and he's not going to get a second. Like he just isn't
I think he's
the
a fourth round pick.
fourth round pick. Okay,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
that's day two, second day, maybe. I don't know. I was just wrong.
Stay
Could have just been
through.
wrong.
You just need to move on, brother.
Well,
You just
yeah,
need to move on.
yeah. We just gotta keep moving. But he's not going to get another chance. Not in the quarterback economy that we live in now. I mean, so many teams either have an established guy or have someone young that they're trying to move on to. There is just not a like.
The
It's
only
not an
way
existent place.
the only way I could see it happening is if like Davis Webb somehow meteoric rise after this. Like Bo Nix has an incredible year. Okay, Davis Webb kind of jumps the hurdle a little bit and gets a head coach job at a bad team that doesn't have an immediate obvious answer at quarterback. And he calls up Jarrett Stidham. He says, "Hey, come follow me to this team, and you're going to compete. You're going to be the incumbent, and we'll." I guess incumbent doesn't make sense because he's a newcomer, but you know what I mean. Like you're going to start out as the starter. We may bring a guy into, but like you're going to be my, But
And even that situation isn't. I would say isn't preferable. If I'm Jarrett Stidham, the thing besides being a starting quarterback, the best job in the world is to be an established backup quarterback, is to be the guy and like the guy behind the guy in a
well, and
system
I mean,
where
him and his yep. Sorry.
but where you know what's going on, he can like as long as Jarrett Stidham wants to be the backup quarterback in Denver, he's going to be the backup quarterback. He's going to make
Well,
decent backup quarterback money.
Non-football side of thing. I mean, his wife and him love Denver. They've got a couple kids. Like they're happy. Yeah, it's a good situation for him, regardless of what the future holds. So
That stability, I think. So I'm happy. I don't think there needs to be a controversy. I think we all just need to say I'm so glad that Jarrett Stidham is our backup quarterback. And uh, my favorite take on it was actually D-Line Co. Tweeted. He was like, I haven't watched the Broncos game, but I assume it's going well because everyone's calling him Stiddy instead of Jarrett Stidham.
there you go. Yep.
I'm seeing all these tweets about Stiddy. So love Stiddy. Really quick, do we want to give out a Never Was award? Was there anyone that we saw that didn't show up?
I mean, Estime again. It was not great for him. It's just not. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. Right? I mean, Estime is kind of the guy that. Yeah. it's just the writing's on the wall for him, and it's kind of a
Mhm.
bummer. It's kind of a bummer, and he did not get a lot of good looks that night either, and some of that's on him, some of it's not on him. But yeah, I would just say Estime again.
Yeah,
So
and he's in a tough place. There's no shortage of running backs that you can go and find, and so he's he's not
yeah,
looking good. I suppose we'll give that to him. The the silver lining though is not a lot of guys look bad against Arizona. This team, like coming out of
yep,
out to start against San Francisco, there was a little bit of rust. There was a little bit of, whatever else. We looked sharp against Arizona. I'm
yeah,
excited to see the depth and see what we can do against New Orleans to kind of not to show like to carry momentum into the season, but it's nice to watch and see like what teams like have their ducks in a row at the starter and second string and third string level. Like things unravel really quickly, and
hmm
it feels like since Sean Payton's been here, we've been really good at preseason, and part of that is because even our third stringers just know generally what they're doing a lot more than most teams, and we
yep,
can thank a very, very good Broncos coaching staff for that. So
yep, definitely.
today we're going to move into our poignant question section.
Hmm.
Um, Ian, this Broncos staff, it's filled with talent. Um, who do we as fans need to be looking out for? Who's going to be on uh you know poach watch?
Yeah.
Who might get picked up by someone new?
Well, let's just go ahead and since we already kind of mentioned him a little bit, let's talk about Davis Webb. A lot of buzz on Davis Webb, and for good reason. If you remember, like last year, when uh, I mean, it started a couple years ago when Sean added him to the staff.
Hmm.
And I think when he did, everybody was kind of like, "Whoa!" Like Davis Webb, like he was just in the league, right? Like as a player, and now he's doing this. But I remember like very early on, Jarrett Stidham talking very positively. Uh, I mean, last year, Bo and Zach Wilson said similar things. But also think about pre-draft before Nix was a Bronco. If you remember at the combine, there were all these different quarterbacks. Um, were being asked about like because at the combine you ask, have you met with this team and that team, and
Yeah.
anytime the Broncos came up, Davis Webb kept getting brought up by these quarterbacks. Okay, like he kept being referenced as a guy that they thought was really cool. He's got away with these players now. Obviously he was just recently a player, and I'm sure that has some to do with it, but I think that Davis Webb, uh, I think he has a good mind for coaching. Obviously, everyone knows now he was calling the plays against Arizona. Um, Sean wanted to give him those reps, which I think is great. I don't think that he's going to be a head coach next season, but I do think that if Bo Nix continues to progress, I can definitely see a team who might need an offensive coordinator, in the offseason, giving Davis Webb a call. And I've heard some Broncos people say things like, "Well, just you need to promote promote Joe Lombardi to like a different role, like pay him more, and
Hmm.
it's really secretly like a demotion, and promote Davis Webb." I I just don't think that's going to happen, and I got to tell you, I
Yeah.
don't know that that's great process for the team culture, like for future prospects of like, yeah, come to Denver, where like eventually we're going to nudge you out to, you know, I, I think it's easy for us fans to dream that up, but in reality, this probably is not going to happen. Regardless of how you feel about Joe Lombardi, um, I think that Davis, and then there's other people who've questioned like, well, would Davis Webb even want to leave because he's working for Sean Payton, who's an all-time great coach, and he's got a good relationship with these quarterbacks. Man, I think that if you have a chance to go call plays somewhere, I think Davis Webb, like if the situation's right, I think he's got to take it. Like
Yeah.
it's great to think about like, oh, he'd stay because he loves, Bo and Jared. He loves that room and he loves the team, and those things are all probably true. But like, let's be honest, guys. Like he wants to climb the ladder and he should want that. And if he gets a chance to call plays somewhere and he feels good about the situation, he'll go, right? So Davis Webb is one of the ones that comes to my mind. And then the other obvious one is Vance Joseph. Uh,
Mhm.
I think some people might roll their eyes about that one because we saw how it worked out. His first chance as a head coach. Listen, lots of people have gotten second chances. Vance has shown to be uh, he's put together quite the unit. And I think there's this perception of like Vance Joseph. It's like he's just calling these blitzes like a maniac, like a 8-year-old would play defense on Madden. And I think we are not giving him nearly enough credit because
Mhm.
it's not just about calling like, oh, we're like you have to know the situation and know when the time's right to do things. Vance has continually displayed the knowledge to do that. If you ask players on the defensive side of the ball what they think of him, they love VJ. Okay. I don't think it's crazy if the Broncos finish with the top 5 defense again this year, which everyone expects them to. I would expect him to get some looks in interviews. Now, does he get a head coaching job? I'm not sure about that, but it would not surprise me at all for him to get poached after this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think with both of those names, it comes down a lot to not just like how the team does, but how the winds of the league itself blow.
Yep.
Like, um, do we come out and see these gung ho, high aggressive defenses? Do they take another step into dominance
Yep.
this year? Where they figure out more.
Yep.
Does that seem to tail off? Like it's all a reactionary league. So will the
Yep.
young offensive coaches that are hired this year do well? Are we going to see Jacksonville and Carolina and teams like that with young offensive coaches like come along well? Or is it going to be more of the defensive mind? Is Mike Vrabel going to just turn the Patriots back around and now everyone wants to get a defensive coach? Um, and that's, I think, the thing that we just have to look for to see
Yep.
for Vance Joseph. Davis Webb is strangely just has aura? Question mark.
He does.
He like I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, the real ones know. Maybe back in the day when the purest form of just Ball Talkers podcast was available with the Sims and Lefko show. Um,
Mm.
the man that inspired the invention of Whoa Big Offseason, a whole segment, was Davis Webb, and he was the backup or third string quarterback in New York.
For the
And a whole
Giants.
article was written about how
Yeah.
like cool and awesome he was, and how
What a
his
fool.
nickname was Dragon, and he is lovable, and he has a big
What a
arm,
fool.
and like he might
Yeah.
be the heir apparent to Eli Manning
Yeah.
and all this. And so wherever he's gone, he just seems to have
That
that
was
presence about
that was when they
him.
called that was when McAdoo was coaching and Lefko would call him Fat Riley. It's so good.
So we gotta see what's going on there. Honestly, my hope is that some of the teams in the league are just honestly dumb, and if the Broncos offense is really good, instead of go like trying to poach Davis Webb, if the situation where it's like we got to do something about Joe Lombardi, well, if this offense is good, Joe Lombardi may get hired as well. Like he
You
may
never
he may
know.
have a chance, because who's probably more connected in the league? Probably Joe Lombardi than Davis Webb at this point. Probably
Yeah.
the who and so if one of these teams that comes up and is very um relationally driven with their coaching
Yeah.
searches, it may be a Joe Lombardi who gets
And
who gets
and
poached.
you know, one thing we got to consider too is despite all this talk, I think Sean Payton over the years, going back to his time in New Orleans, has been one of the better coaches when it comes to staff retention. Like Sean Payton's
Hmm.
kind of had his guys for. I mean, now we have. I mean, much smaller capacity, albeit, but Pete Carmichael Jr. is on our staff. I think more in like an advisory consultant
Hmm.
role. Joe Vitt is the same way. He brought Darren Rizzi from New Orleans this offseason. Okay, Joe Lombardi is somebody who was with him in New Orleans for a time and came back over. In New Orleans, he had Dennis Allen for a long time.
Hmm.
Aaron Cromer is a guy that comes to mind. Okay, I might have said Joe Vitt already. Um, I feel like Sean has been one of the better coaches over the last couple decades when it comes to retaining staff. Now, Davis Webb, you're right. He does have aura. He's also a former quarterback. He's also white. So, like, there's a lot of reasons why, and all respect to Davis Webb, who, without all those things, is also a very good coach and deserving of it. But it just feels like the arrow is probably pointing up for him. So, it would not stun me if this is his last season in Denver. And fans, we can come up with all the fan fiction we want of like, well, he'll go somewhere else and be an offensive coordinator. And then a few years from now, Sean Payton retires, Davis Webb will come, whatever. Sure. You come up with any of those ideas you want. But honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Davis Webb goes elsewhere after the season. We'll see. And honestly, if he does, that's a good thing because that means that Bo probably had a great year. So
that's we want the conditions that would result in Davis. Like it's like we can't have a top 5 offense.
It's
we'll
great.
lose Davis Webb.
We have been so bad, mediocre for a decade that we forget things like it's good if our coaches are all like leaving because of like what like our team on the field, the product's gotten better. It's good that we're stressing over the back end of the 53 and is this who should we cut? Like these are good problems, right?
Yeah,
because we're a good team again.
Like it really sucks to have a potential young offensive genius walk out that door in Davis Webb, because you know what, he could even maybe one day potentially possibly be as good and smart and as genius as Sean Payton. So
you know what
the
I
nice
want?
thing is we're not losing Sean.
I want Sean to keep doing this backup quarterback to QB coach pipeline. After Davis Webb leaves, call up Brett Rippon and be like, hey, come on, man. You've been bouncing around teams. Come on, come back to Denver. Be our quarterback coach. Fast track yourself. I don't know. That's
David,
another one of those fan fiction things. But
call up. I would love a Gardner Minshew. Like he would be fun as a quarterbacks coach. He's got all the thing. Brett Rippon. God, shout out that man's.
Gardner Minshew still has a place as a player. Like Rippon, let's be honest, man. Like it's cool that you're bouncing around, but he's in Minnesota right now. They've got J.J. McCarthy, Max Brosmer's been tearing it up for them from rookie from Minnesota. Like he's going to stick around too. Come on, Brett Rippon, come home, brother. Come home.
You can have Brett. You can have Brett Rippon. I'll take Kyle Sloter every day.
Whoa, Broncos preseason Hall of Fame,
dude. Oh,
gold jacket.
The Broncos preseason goat, Mr. August for infinity. Yeah. So we love our coaches here, and whether they stay or go, it's whatever. And if they do leave, deeply from the bottom of our hearts, I hope you fail spectacularly so that Sean Payton just looks like, it's just him. He's so smart.
That's the thing. We'll still have Sean Payton.
At
the end of the day, we'll still have Sean. So
it's why you hire the offensive genius to be your head coach, because there's no higher he can go.
That's right.
Okay. Today, Ian, we have 2 teams to preview, and I'm gonna take just a slight moment to be proud of us. Time check here. Only 33 minutes into this pod.
I honestly can't believe it. Yeah,
we've covered a lot of ground. So today we're going to continue with heading up or tailing off. And guess what? I found our coin. For those of you who haven't seen, this is the actual coin I've been flipping. Last time we played, I threw my wife under the bus, saying she must have gotten rid of this, she must have cleaned it, whatever, complained about her. It was stuck to the magnetic backside of my iPad. So
you wrote her off, but she never wrote back.
She never wrote back. So apologies to her, but we have the coin back. And awesome. Today we're going to be doing 2 different AFC divisions. And you know what, Ian, I'm going to flip this coin, and if it's heads, we're going to do the North, and if it's tails, we're going to do the South first.
Great.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ian, today we're going to be starting with the NFC or the AFC South.
Okay, great,
So
love it.
let's start with the Tennessee Titans. Um, they were 3-13 last year. They have a they have
Three
they're
and
kind of
14.
in 3-14. They're in the middle of an overhaul of the roster, the coaching staff, the quarterback room. And you're gonna tell me why the Tennessee Titans are heading up.
That's a relief because they won 3 games last year. Okay, the Tennessee Titans, they will improve on 3 and 14. I'm a Cam Ward fan. I wouldn't say I don't think he was the most exciting
Mhm.
first overall pick of recent memory, but he was to me like for a team that needed a quarterback at the top of the draft. He was the obvious first overall pick, in my
Mhm.
opinion. I think there's a lot to like about his game. I think that by nature, I think he's kind of a big game hunter. I think you really
Yeah.
got to see that his last year at Miami. He's not afraid to make the big throws, and he has definitely, from everything I've read and seen and heard, he's definitely like taken up that leadership role. It seems like the Tennessee Titans, they're bought into Cam Ward. Um, I do have to say this: I'm not sold on Brian Callahan as head coach.
Mhm.
Um, we'll see how he does this year. I mean, Broncos ties, respect to him, but I'm not really sold on him. But there's some things to like about this Titans team. Uh, obviously Calvin Ridley is a good player. Um, they have Chiga Quanko, who I think is kind of an underrated tight end. I don't think he's like
Mhm.
this absolute star, but he's a good, steady, consistent player. I do have some questions about that offensive line. We'll see how that goes. Questions about the running game. I like that Tennessee kind of took a flyer on Restrepo as a UDFA. Xavier Restrepo, just a familiar target for Cam Ward. That defense, we'll have to see. They've got some pieces that I like. I'm a big Jeffrey Simmons fan.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that they're going to be a scrappy team. I think Cam Ward is going to do well. So while I don't know how long term uh, Brian Callahan's tenure is going to be with the Titans, I do think there's going to be some positive growth from Cam Ward. I think this team will win a few more games. In fact, Rhett, I do have a take, and I don't know if this is the place to share it because maybe we'll do things like closer to the season starting. Um, I believe that while everybody relax, I think that Week 1 Denver is going to beat the Titans in Denver. My
Mhm.
take is uh, the Tennessee Titans will be leading at halftime in that game.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be leading at halftime. I think it's going to be 7-6 Tennessee when we go into the locker room. I think that Broncos country is going to be panicking. They are
Yeah.
going to just be awful. Everybody's going to be saying ridiculous things. And then I think Denver will come back out, and I think ultimately they're going to win that game 20-13. Uh, but I think that the Titans are going to show something that might surprise some people. They are not going to be a playoff team, but I think I could see them winning 5 or maybe even 6 games. Their division is not the toughest division in the league. I think that they can steal some division wins. I think Cam Ward is going to show some flashes, and I think Titans fans will have some reasons to be excited.
Yeah. This isn't a team that looks like the terrible team that you would expect them to be, that you're just like, "Oh, yeah, it's the Titans, it's kinda stuck." It feels like a team that is, um, okay in a couple places. It's just not the places that you necessarily would choose to be okay in if you're trying to win as
No,
many like, the question mark is the offensive line and, the
yeah,
secondary, like, the
they
depth of
paid
the
a lot of
secondary, like
money. They paid a lot of money to Dan Moore, who I think was coming over from Pittsburgh
Mhm.
at tackle, and I mean, you always overpay O lineman, but I don't know about him, man.
And but otherwise, their roster is a delightful little like secondhand shop. I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna like they have so many names that are guys that's like okay, they're not great, but like they're guys that like that everyone likes. Like
hmm
Van Jefferson is in that wide receiver core. It's
I,
like
I I didn't even mention they took Alec Iamaner, who I like quite
yes,
a bit. Don't they have Tony Pollard right at running back?
they've got
Yeah,
Tony Pollard,
like they've got pieces.
Calvin. Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley,
Yeah.
good player.
Our dear old friend Lloyd Cushenberry at center.
He's a good player, man. He's probably the bright spot on their line, I would assume.
Yeah, and so you're hoping if you get if Dan Moore gives you serviceable play at left tackle,
Mhm.
JC Latham hopefully comes around at right
Yeah,
tackle. Like,
yeah.
that's
I think they
a bit
like
of a
him a lot.
project there. And then Kevin Zeitler and Peter Skronsky, those are
Yeah,
Skoronsky.
Skoronski's good, and I forgot about Zeitler. They might have something on offense. On defense, I do want to point out Jarvis Brownlee, corner.
Mhm.
He's a good player, and I just want people to remember that name because I think this year he'll have a good. I just think he's gonna have a good season. Jarvis Brownlee, cornerback.
Mhm.
Yeah, Titans. I think there will be some good vibes, even though they're not going to finish with a super impressive record. I think there will be
Yeah,
good vibes.
a fun little team. Names to note. Draymond Jones is on that defense. Just
Shout out
lots
Dre.
of, like, it's not a team. They're not so talentless that it's just gonna all fall apart. Anyway, I think they're gonna win 2 games because that's what the coin said.
That's what the coin said.
So the
Yeah,
coin said, I have to say. Up next is I flipped before
I don't even
we
know
get
who's
there.
next. Jacksonville.
Duval. Jacksonville won only. The Titans were so bad and forgettable, and the Jags only won one more game than them last.
I do need to ask you a question. Are
Yeah.
you aware that there is no X in Jacksonville?
Did I?
You need to leave it that way because it's
I
funny.
do need. I do need to leave it that
Uh,
way.
no, leave it that way. It's fine. It's better that way.
All right.
Uh,
Cool.
all right, let's talk about the Jaguars. Tell me what I need to.
Ian, they went 4-13 last year, and you're going to tell me how they're tailing off. You're preying
Because
on their downfall.
Liam Cohen is a fraud. That's why. Because they have a GM who looks like a 12-year-old. This is a hard argument to make. Like I mentioned with the Titans, because we're talking about the AFC South, this division isn't especially tough. No disrespect to the Houston Texans. There's a lot of things I like about Jacksonville. I'm a Trevor Lawrence believer. It feels like some people have kind of given up on Trevor Lawrence. I think that's
Mhm.
pretty dang premature. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about why they're tailing off. Listen, Travis Hunter really going to be able to play both ways? Are we really going to be able to play both ways? I don't know, man. Is that frame going to be able to hold up over a 17-game season? Yeah, man. Listen.
Even
Honestly,
beyond maybe not winning 4 games, is there a path to 4th place in this division?
I'll tell you this, and I have no idea how Liam Cohen is going to do as a head coach. I know that Baker Mayfield really liked him, okay, but Baker Mayfield also really liked Freddie Kitchens back in Cleveland, and that didn't work
So
out well. I think that when you have a coach who's coming from, he's coming from a couple of teams that have a really great infrastructure. In Los Angeles, he was quarterback coach there, and then he followed Baker Mayfield to Tampa. Eventually, after Dave Canales left to go to Carolina, he became the offensive coordinator. We saw good things, and now he's in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not a team that I would describe with great infrastructure. So while Liam Cohen has probably got a good offensive mind, I don't doubt that. He's been around some good coaches, okay, and McVay and Canales, among others. He's going to have to be able to lead these guys. We throw around the cliche term leader of men. Well, as a head coach, you have to be that. We like to play this game sometimes with, well, are they one of those X's and O's guys? Are they a leader of men guy? Every coach kind of just has to be both. Okay,
Mhm.
make no mistake. Sean Payton is a leader of men, but we also know he's got a lot of ball knowledge. Okay, can Liam Cohen do that? I don't know because we haven't seen it. So while obviously there's a lot of things you like, they've added some good pieces. Travis Hunter's exciting. okay, you feel good about a lot of those pieces on defense. Brian Thomas Jr., I think, will probably be like a top 5 receiver. I just think he's awesome, man. Brenton Strange is an underrated tight end. If Liam Cohen can't lead these guys, there's still going to be dysfunction. So that's how I could see Jacksonville tail off. That's my best shot. Honestly, again, this is as tough as the AFC is. I don't see them being a power, but there's a lot to like. There's a lot to be optimistic about. So,
Yeah, it's another one of those coin put us in a somewhat awkward situation because honestly, I think that I'm lower on the Jags than you are because
okay.
of that just the generational stink, man, of that organization. It is just rough because
Yeah.
all these players
No.
that are talented that have been here a while are also just losers. Like, and that's hard.
That's a real thing, and that it doesn't mean that they're not good players or anything like
Mhm.
that. They just don't know how to win because they haven't done it,
Yeah,
and so.
like it's
Oh,
it's the same in any sport or any company. Like if you're not about like the organizational culture just makes so much difference. But you look at this roster and you look at who they've assembled together, and the fact that you're adding a new coach gives them a chance to maybe do a bit of a reset and maybe answer the question. One of the things that I know that is true is at least right now in this moment, maybe he will be corrupted, but like right now, Travis Hunter is not a loser. That dude works. That dude is like
yeah, he's awesome. He's the best player in the draft.
as yeah, and he is a great locker room presence as well. And so stepping in and having him like if you're on this team and you're watching Travis Hunter show up every day and be in the physical condition to play both sides of the ball, which I don't know if that's overblown or not. It feels like it's a pretty impressive thing because like no one else is
Yeah,
doing it.
it is
But
impressive, and it
um
seems like that's what they're going to try to have him do too.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
regardless of the talent thing, just like the being in the kind of shape and the kind of work that he's having to do, um, this offense should go. The one worry I have is if again it's back to the offensive line, and then also the running back room needs to prove it a little bit. Travis Etienne can't stay consistently in that lineup.
yeah,
He is a Tank Bigsby. As a Tank Bigsby dynasty point, I had some running back, and I I had around on him to be my handcuff for Travis Etienne, and guess what? The handcuffs didn't handcuff.
well, and now they drafted Bashal Tutin, which a lot of people are high on. For me, you watch him and yeah, it's obvious why you like him, but the man fumbled a ton in college, and I don't
Mhm.
feel confident that that's just going to magically go away at the pro level. But
But that sounds like a very Jaguars outcome. A dude who's like absolutely electric and then just randomly gives the other team the ball. Sounds like if Melvin Gordon were electric when he was in Denver. All
so
right.
true.
So the Indianapolis Colts, uh, last year they were 8-9, and
This is a safe one because they
they were 8-9. They
obviously
were,
you can't finish at 500 anymore, given the new but feels like we could go either way.
Ian, you do need to tell me why the Indianapolis Colts are heading up this year.
Dang it. Uh, no, I mean, look, I will tell you this. Anthony Richardson, I saw somebody say this about him. I don't know where, so credit to whoever said this, but watching Anthony Richardson play quarterback is like spinning a roulette where there's only two options, and those options are Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Kaiser. Uh, Now, obviously, as of now, Anthony Richardson's not going to be starting, and that's a whole other discourse thing that we're not going to get into. Daniel Jones is going to be the starter here in Indianapolis. Everyone is freaking out about it. That's might make me sound crazy. I don't hate it. I don't think Daniel Jones is this awesome quarterback, but like he's been in the league for a long time. He's started a lot of games. I like Shane Steichen as an offensive mind. I don't know that it doesn't seem like he's been an awesome head coach. I think that maybe Shane Steichen can work with this. They have fun pieces on offense. You took Tyler Warren at 14 this year. He can do a lot of things for you, man. He could be like the best friend to a veteran quarterback. I'm a big Josh Downs fan. He's on my dynasty team. And when I saw that Anthony Richardson is going to be benched in favor of Daniel Jones, I was excited for that reason. It was kind of like Alec Pierce owners are going to be excited if AR is the starter. Josh Downs fans are going to be excited if Daniel Jones is the starter. Michael Pittman is probably a little underrated as a receiver. He's not elite, but he is steady. I think he's had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. Just a good, solid player. Jonathan Taylor is still a very good running back. There are pieces here on this team. I know they lost some guys on their offensive line. I think they lost Will Fries and Andrew Kelly, both to Minnesota, I think, actually. Which is interesting. So obviously you're going to have to consider that. I don't have in front of me like what their draft looked like. So I'm sure they addressed that in some way. But do you have it or?
They drafted Travis Jalen in the 4th round.
Yeah.
They spent a 6th-round pick on Riley Leonard, DJ Giddens. They added to their
I do like
backfield.
DJ Giddens. Yeah.
JT Tuimoloau at left defensive end.
I like Tuimoloau. Yeah. Now, what I do like about
and
the
then
Colts,
Tyler Warren, obviously at tight end.
what I do like about the Colts defense, it's not so much about the on-field personnel, but I like Lou Anarumo is now their defensive coordinator, who I think people probably have a bad taste in their mouth about him because he's Cincinnati's defensive coordinator the last several years. Well, listen, while obviously last year their defense was terrible, there's no question about that, and it probably will continue to be terrible. I actually like Lou Anarumo a lot as a coach. I think he's a really smart defensive coordinator. I think there were a lot of reasons things didn't go well last year for them. You got to remember, for a couple years there, it felt like Lou was the only defensive coordinator that consistently had Mahomes' number, right? Like, I think that he's going to do a really good job for their defense that still has some pieces. They got I want to say Cam Bynum. Is that the safety from Minnesota that came over? He's a smart player.
Yeah,
they drafted Leatu.
They've added Cam Bynum and Tarvarius Ward.
Good player. They've got
Latu
that they hope will take a jump this year. They still have guys like DeForest Buckner, Zaire Franklin. A lot of pieces to like on this Colts defense. I think he starts to turn that around. I think the Colts see a pretty good return on that. I think if Daniel Jones can be steady, there's enough talent on offense to make it go. I could see them finishing 9-8 and being better. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my take on the Colts.
I mean, it's fine. I get to harp on Daniel Jones. I'm so confused as to how this team handled the quarterback room, because you have two vastly different quarterbacks that need different things and are both right there at that level of, if you maybe fully invested and fully sent, hey, do the Anthony Richardson thing, that like is most of the time like the